And we're now joined with the Commissioner of the Sun Belt Conference, Karl Benson. If you have a question for Commissioner Benson, please dial *1 on your phone at this time. Karl, while we're waiting for questions to get in the queue, would you mind starting us off with an opening statement?
I will, and thank you very much, Travis, and thanks everyone for participating in today's call as we get ready for opening kickoff 2013 on Thursday for the Sun Belt. I certainly am not going to go back over many of my comments from Media Day back in July, nor some of the follow-up. But I do have a couple of either reminders or just kind of points of emphasis. And the first one follows up Don's description of the new targeting rule, and again the automatic ejection. Reminder there that it also carries with it, and I think, I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but the possibility for the instant replay booth to overturn a ejection on the field if there is indisputable evidence, and I would emphasize the indisputable evidence similar to how we administer all instant replay, that upon ejection for a targeting foul, it will automatically go to instant replay, and at that point in time, the instant replay official will review whatever video is available to him, and if he believes that it was not a targeting foul, he has the ability to overturn that, and the player is returning to play. Now, there's another piece of this that has gotten quite a bit of publicity by the coaches, is that under that scenario where it is overturned, the 15-yard penalty that was assessed will stand. And I know this has been somewhat controversial with coaches, and I'm sure it'll be something that will be reviewed as we continue to try to manage this particular phase of the game and the use of instant replay with the targeting fouls. But so if in game one there's an ejection that is overturned by the instant replay, don't be surprised when you see that there's a 15-yard penalty that comes along with it. Coaches are not necessarily happy about it, and again, I think it'll be one that will be reviewed during the season and postseason. Also, want to bring to your attention again, how the conference office will deal with these automatic ejections. And again, an automatic ejection for targeting that isn't overturned will result in a half-game suspension. If the play happens in the first half, the player will sit out the second half, and that will warrant the half game. If the penalty occurs in the second half, that player will be suspended for the first half of the second game. However, that does not keep the conference office, and specifically the commissioner, from reviewing those ejections to determine whether any further action, any further penalty, more than the one-half game suspension would be imposed. So this does not eliminate this Monday morning review. Now we hope that it's going to reduce the number of Monday morning reviews, and that that the suspensions of the next obviously anything that happens for the second half can't be you can't take it back, and neither can you take back any of the suspensions or any of the automatic ejections. But the commissioner and myself can review to determine whether the act warrants any further than a half game. Also bring to your attention that if there is a play that goes uncalled on the field, and that post-game video review indicates that it perhaps was a targeting foul, that then shifts into the obligation of the commissioner to review to determine whether any penalty can be assessed. And as you recall, a year ago, we did have, I think we had 3 Monday morning reviews that resulted in suspensions for the following game. So again, we are hoping that this reduces the time that the conference office has to get involved in the post-game review. But there still is the possibility, and there still is the policy that will allow that. And one other twist, and this is a Sun Belt only application, is that recently on the advice and the recommendation by the athletic directors that went to the Sun Belt presidents and chancellors, they have adopted a policy that states that any suspension or penalty by the commissioner, that's imposed by the commissioner in any football-related act of unsportsmanlike conduct is not appealable. And again, if you recall, a year ago, based on a couple of my suspensions, institutions did appeal, and there may or may not have been, any type of relief. But in this case, all post-game sanctions imposed by the president, imposed by the commissioner, are not appealable. I think I'll stop there, Travis, and take any questions specifically to the issue of the targeting foul and the role that the conference office and the commissioner will have. I do have a couple of other comments I'd like to make before we conclude.
And as a reminder, our members of the media is *1 to get in the queue to ask questions of Commissioner Karl Benson. Karl, right now, actually, don't have any questions in the queue, so if you'd like to go with those other comments, I think we can do that at this time.
Well, hopefully I clarified and was able to provide some quote inside information to the media. I would also like to turn your attention to an article that was written yesterday by Tim Buckley with the Lafayette newspaper regarding some of my statements from Media Day regarding non-conference scheduling. I think Tim did an excellent job of capturing in the follow-up interview that I did with him that I think provides some good kind of foundation based on what and how the Sun Belt will proceed in the future in terms of non-conference scheduling and how important non-conference scheduling will be as we go into the new playoff structure, a year from now. And so I encourage you to take a look at that. If you have questions that may need clarification, I, as always, am available. Reminder, my cell number is 720-988-6600, and texting is a way to communicate with me as well. Also, direct your attention towards a series of articles that started yesterday in the New York Times. Yesterday was part one. Today, I haven't read it yet. I've seen clips of it, and then there's a follow-up tomorrow. Very interesting and comprehensive story that has been in the works for over the last year by the New York Times regarding the role of ESPN in intercollegiate athletics. Whether it's today or tomorrow, there will be a piece in it regarding my time as the commissioner of the WAC in terms of some negotiations with ESPN that may result in a need for some follow-up there and how it might apply to the Sun Belt's current existing contract with ESPN. So I encourage you to look at that, and if you want some follow-up, please feel free to call me. Also, as far as my schedule for the next 2 weekends, I will be in Norman, Oklahoma for the University of Louisiana Monroe Oklahoma game. It's a game that I'm certainly excited to be able to see one of our projected teams, the Warhawks, play such a nationally renowned program in the University of Oklahoma, and I'll have to say that the last time that I watched a game involving the University of Oklahoma from the sidelines or the press box was the 2007 Fiesta Bowl when Boise State beat Oklahoma. So I have fond memories of the last time that I watched the University of Oklahoma game, and certainly am rooting for the Warhawks to duplicate that on Saturday. Some other great non-conference games to start off the season this week and next week. Next week I will go to Auburn, Alabama to watch the Arkansas State game late Saturday afternoon, but not before I see Georgia State's second game as an FBS. They play UT Chattanooga early in the afternoon on Saturday, and I will attend that game and then go on to Auburn and watch the Arkansas State-Auburn game. Then the following Thursday, as you know, the first conference game, and a big one it is, with Troy at Arkansas State, an ESPN game on Thursday, the 12th of September. So that's my early schedule. I look forward to seeing you throughout the course of the season. As I go to games, we'll try to get information out to all of you what my schedule is, and if any of you want to establish any type of scheduled time with me while I'm on campus or in a press box on a game day, I'm more than happy to call Travis or John McElwain to schedule some of that. So with that, I will end my remarks and see if there's any other questions that the media may have for me.
We do have one question in the queue from David Jackson with the Appalachian IMG Sports Network. Please go ahead, David.
Commissioner, how are you this afternoon?
Very well. Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon. You mentioning some of those non-conference games that are coming up, and with all of that the Sun Belt has had going on positively, the new bowl games, new teams, this and that, how much do you feel like that non-conference ability, especially the way teams are being asked to schedule now, helps build the overall brand of the conference going forward at a time where brand identity seems to be such a premium?
Well, I think we saw it a year ago. The Sun Belt received more national attention, notoriety, after a couple of those early season wins. ULM beating Arkansas and Middle Tennessee beating Georgia Tech in the month of September, and again that I think set the stage for the rest of the season, and obviously we had a good overall non-conference schedule, the best in history, but it was those two games early on that I think really created some focus, and I think it's important this year as we go forward to continue to build the brand and the conference identity. It is a transition year that I've been talking about, and a year from now, when we start the 2014 season, we are certainly hoping that membership will be our established membership, and we'll be able to, again, to capitalize on a good 2013 as we then go into the new era of college football with the college football playoff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Karl. That's all the questions we have for you today.
Good enough. Thanks, everybody.
And this will conclude today's teleconference. A copy of this will be posted on sunbeltsports.org later today. We'd like to thank everyone for joining us. We hope everyone has a great week and safe travels.